Good afternoon, it's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we have the opportunity to join Volusia Here and Now reporter Joanne Magley for a look at the Florida Wildlife Corridor. Then health reporter Stephanie Strong will bring us a report from the Volusia County Health Department. And finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio for a chat with Jeff Smith, the Acting Deputy Chief of Operations for the Volusia County Fire Services. Those segments, news, and more coming up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Driving on the beach with the windows down is a great way to enjoy the sea breeze and the salt air. Now it's required. The Volusia County Council, in approving some simple new safety rules, has voted to make it mandatory that motorists on the beach have their driver's side window down. This makes it easier to see and hear pedestrians who share the sands with vehicles. Taking action at the recent meeting in DeLand, the County Council amended its beach ordinance with safety in mind.
A couple of other things that we're going to do, and we've started to implement, are some of the new rules that we have decided we're going to follow through on. The council has to pass the ordinance to make it official so that we can enforce them with the full weight of the law. At this point, it's just voluntary compliance. And those are, when on the beach, you're not allowed to be texting with any devices while you're operating a motor vehicle. The driver's window, at a minimum, should be down. We encourage them to have all windows down, but especially the driver's window. And for the lights, either the running lights or the headlights to be on while they're moving. We believe that those three other items will help people stay aware of cars that are moving on the beach. Obviously, we enforce the speed limit. We expect people to go the speed limit on the beach, it's only 10 miles an hour.
These ordinance amendments go along with beach driving and parking administrative changes made by County Manager Jim Deneen that went into effect April 6th, just before the busy Easter weekend.
We believe the one-way traffic makes it more predictable which direction a car might be coming from if you step out into the traffic lane on the beach, and also eliminates the need to have a wider lane because you only have one lane of traffic instead of two crossing, but eliminates any confusion. We believe that it's inherently safer.
Some driving areas of the beach are now one way. Those areas are Granada Boulevard south to Cardinal Boulevard in Ormond Beach, and University Boulevard south to Seabreeze Boulevard, and International Speedway Boulevard south to Silver Beach and Daytona Beach. There also is no beach parking allowed in areas in front of three popular beachfront parks: Sunsplash Park in Daytona Beach, Frank Rendon Park in Ormond Beach, and Flagler Avenue Park in New Smyrna Beach. Deneen said the goal is to make drivers more aware of their surroundings.
The idea of having the window down, the lights on, the no texting, we think all those make the driver more aware of his surroundings, and therein inherently safer in terms of people either walking in front of the car, walking beside the car, but especially for those instances where somebody, especially a child, may dart out in front of the car.
While Beach Patrol will enforce the new ordinance of no texting, windows rolled down and headlights on, they will not issue citations. Instead, drivers will receive warnings and repeat violators will be asked to leave the beach. Since 2000, Volusia County's Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet has cared for thousands of turtles, birds, and more. And the center's efforts have received the enthusiastic support from the public. Again this year, hundreds of citizens are expected to join the county in celebrating animal rehabilitation and raising awareness about marine life and the environment as the Marine Science Center stages its 10th annual Turtle Day this Saturday, April 21st, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The release of rehabilitated animals will end the day on an exciting note at 3 p.m. The releases will be at the Beach Street Ramp in Ponce Inlet. Marine Science Center Director Michael Brothers anticipates another strong Turtle Day turnout.
Turtle Day is, of course, our biggest event of the year, and this is a special day for us because it's our 10th anniversary of Turtle Day. And we have a wonderful array of events coming on this particular Turtle Day. We have, of course, all of our exhibitors, that is environmental organizations from throughout our area.
Turtle Day is a celebration of bird and turtle rehabilitation in Volusia County.
You can see the the new viewing window that we have into our sea turtle surgery center. This is a new window that allows visitors to look into an area that formerly was not open to the public at all. Now they can watch while our staff and our veterinarians work on sea turtles and actually are debriding wounds, are doing other procedures on the sea turtles, and the visitors are just a few feet away from this action.
Through March, the MSC has received 936 juvenile to adult-sized sea turtles, 15,418 hatchlings and washbacks, and 842 miscellaneous reptiles to include gopher tortoises, freshwater turtles, and snakes, bringing the total number of reptiles received by the Marine Science Center to 17,196 since it opened in 2002.
One of the best things about Turtle Day is that it's free. And so this is a chance for you to come down, see what the Marine Science Center is really all about, to see our sea turtle rehabilitation program, our bird rehabilitation program, and all of the wonderful exhibits and aquariums that allow visitors to learn a little bit more about the marine environments of Volusia County.
The April 21st event is expected to conclude with the release of a sea turtle nursed to good health from the center's sea turtle rehabilitation facility. Several gulls and pelicans are scheduled to be released as well. For more information about Turtle Day, please call the Marine Science Center at 386-304-5545, or you can visit the Marine Science Center on the web at marinesciencecenter.com. Hundreds of plants will be offered for sale at the Master Gardener Plant Fair from 8:30 a.m. to noon Saturday, April 21st. The highly popular annual event will be at the Volusia County Agricultural Center near the Volusia County Fairgrounds in DeLand. Master gardeners have been sowing and growing all year to assemble plants ideal for growing in Central Florida. Butterfly and hummingbird plants, herbs, native plants, perennials, trees, and houseplants will be available. Best of all, these are all natives, meaning they need less water and maintenance than exotic plants. Admission and parking are free.
One of the great things at the Master Gardener Plant Fair is you have access to all the Volusia County Master Gardeners that can be able to give you some helpful advice on how to plant these plants, where to plant the plants, and how far to space them apart. They'll even give you a wonderful feature, what color the flower is, or perhaps what kind of wildlife is drawn to it. So come on out and take a look at some of the great specimens out there. We also have vendors that will also be offering their plants for sale. So if you don't find anything that we have available, there's plenty of vendors out there that will be able to offer what we may not have.
For a sneak peek of the plants, the public can attend the Plant Fair preview from 9 to 11:30 a.m. Friday, April 20th in the Agricultural Center Auditorium. There is an optional $5 donation for this program. Plants will not be sold during the preview. Master gardeners will give presentations on right plant, right place. Proceeds will support the county's Master Gardener program. Master gardeners receive horticultural training from the University of Florida, Volusia County Extension, and volunteer their time to answer questions and teach residents about gardening and landscaping. To learn more about the Master Gardener program, you can visit volusia.org/extension.
I'm Joshua Wagner with the Volusia County Council. If you're going to one of our beautiful beaches, have a great day and come back often. If you drive on the beach, please observe the 10-mile-per-hour speed limit and be very careful of pedestrians, especially children. If you're visiting with children, watch them constantly and take small children by the hand when crossing traffic lanes. You might want to use one of our traffic-free zones. For more beach information, please visit volusia.org.
An expedition team is trekking through the state of Florida for 100 days to raise awareness of the need to secure conservation lands. The group recently came through Volusia County, and Joanne Nagley has their story in this week's Volusia Here and Now.
I loved being on Deep Creek, just a beautiful cypress swamp, amazing bird life all through that area.
Bear biologist Joe Guthrie is part of the Florida Wildlife Corridor expedition making its way through forests and swamps by foot and by kayak.
We hiked on some beautiful property on Hart Island the other day, and Tiger Bay State Forest is a wonderful place for the public can go and actually use these places.
The four-person team is made up of Guthrie, as well as a conservationist, photojournalist, and a filmmaker.
The team hopes that by publicizing their expedition, more people will understand the need for the importance of protecting the Florida corridor.
Guthrie is also tracking bears along his journey.
What we're experiencing in Florida is bear populations expanding back from a time when there were very few. In the 70s, we were down to about 300. Now we've got somewhere on the order of 3,000 bears, but they're all still fairly isolated populations. And so over time, if they remain isolated, they become susceptible to disease, natural disasters, things that can come along if a population is weak genetically and wipe them out.
Guthrie says one reason the bears are isolated is because their natural corridor is being threatened by development and major arterial highways that cut across the state. But even with these threats, he says Volusia County stands out as a leader in conserving the corridor.
Volusia County is bounded on water on many sides and bounded also by development on many sides. And so there was some visionary work that really went into protecting the Volusia Conservation Area, the Volusia Conservation Corridor, going back to the 80s and before even. So what stands out, just the really innovative way that the agencies have come together working with the county to keep the land functionally connected.
Tom Hochter is the Director of Landscape Conservation Planning for the University of Central Florida, which helped fund the expedition. He says creating underpasses of major roadways is part of the solution.
So one of the critical issues is making sure that animals like the Florida black bear and the Florida panther can cross this network of roads as they're traversing this corridor or living in this corridor all the way from one end of the state or to the other. And there have been quite a few wildlife underpasses already built. For instance, I-75, as it goes through Big Cypress National Preserve in southwest Florida, they built a series of underpasses for the Florida panther that have worked very well. But there are many other underpasses that will need to be built over a period of time to reduce the impact that these roads have, either killing animals that try to cross them or animals that don't try to cross them at all because they are behaviorally incapable of trying to cross something this wide area of pavement with all of this traffic and activity on it.
Hochter says there are 2 underpasses planned for Volusia County during a future I-4 widening project in the area of Tiger Bay State Forest. For the expedition team, they hope their journey will help spread the word that there is still an opportunity to protect the corridor.
Opportunities are still here to protect the landscape, and fortunately there's some good public servants, there's some good conservationists, and there's some good ranching families who are responsible for it still being here. I'll add that I would hope that everyone would contact their legislators. There is a legislative solution to the Florida Wildlife Corridor and the opportunity to protect these areas.
For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
To find out more about the Florida Wildlife Corridor and to follow the expedition, you can visit floridawildlifecorridor.org. Several minority health experts gathered at the Volusia County Health Department recently to look at health inequity, why some people have more challenges with access to health care than others, and why some are impacted more than others with chronic diseases and what can be done about these issues. Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong takes a closer look at health inequity in this segment of Community Health Matters.
Health inequities are health conditions that result from inequities in our environment. Health is more than health care. Health is about where we live, the place that we live, the environment that we live in. If we live in an unhealthy environment, it will result in our health being not as good as it should be.
I'm Alma Dixon, Executive Director of the Odessa Chamberlain Wellness Center, and I'm pleased to really present and be able to talk on what are health inequities, meaning those illnesses that disproportionately affect people of color, especially diseases that have high risk factors like diabetes, heart disease, and HIV and AIDS. And when we talk of health disparities, what we're talking about is needing to increase access, not only to care, but access to those things that reduce risk, be they environmental or social, as well as things that help to improve health behaviors.
We know that there are disparities of health. Some folks are more prone to being diabetic or more prone to having conditions compared to other people. But a health inequity is when someone has a health condition because of social economic factors rather than a genetic factor. So poverty, unemployment, education or lack thereof impact health.
We're talking about really two things. One is access to care, and that largely is a matter of insurance coverage and resource availability. And the other is health outcomes. And to the extent racial and ethnic groups of varied origin have widely divergent or disparate health outcomes, regardless of cost, regardless of many things that you would think would be factors, the reality is that they do. And that can't wait, especially when we have a country that leads the world in so many other ways. Why shouldn't we lead it in health disparities?
Health equity is achieved when every person has the opportunity to attain his or her full health potential, and no one is disadvantaged from achieving this potential because of social position or other socially determined circumstances. For more information on minority health disparities, please visit the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Minority Health website, www.minorityhealth.hhs.gov. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Volusia County Health Department.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. And now it's time to head into the studio to join Community Information Director Dave Byron for an in-depth interview with Jeff Smith, the Acting Deputy Chief of Operations for Volusia County Fire Services.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hello, everyone. It's very dry out there. I don't have to tell you that. We've been well below normal rainfall amounts for a prolonged period of time. As a result, several woodland fires are occurring in Volusia County, actually throughout Central Florida for that matter. Our normal wildfire season is underway, and it looks as though this is going to be a very active fire season. Firefighters from several agencies are on alert, hoping to jump on any new fire.
Coming in at 621, that's very high for us, and just like you said, we've been in a fire season basically since December.
Let's talk about the active fires that are ongoing right now. Obviously this will broadcast in a few days, but as you look at the scenario right now, do you have active fires?
We do. We have 5 fires that we're actually involved with maintaining and watching, and and working and executing what we call mop-up operations on.
And how's the in general, how is the response going? Are things going pretty well?
They're going pretty well. It's the weather and the wind. Last week we had a really bad windy Wednesday and Thursday, and it brought us into Easter weekend, and that created a lot of problems for us. 30-mile-an-hour winds. As dry as it is, you can't fight that, Dave.
Right. We all harken back to 1998, which was the epic year in Volusia County, some 140,000 acres of wildfires, which is just incredible. If there was anything good about 1998, it was a phenomenal learning lesson.
Yes.
And so here we are today in 2012, many years later. In terms of our system, in terms of our resources, our knowledge, I would guess that we're a lot better off than we were in 1998.
We are. We're better prepared through education, through training, through the adoption of technology that's out there for us. Just the mere communications technology that we incorporated with this, unified dispatch center. That's made so much of a difference for us.
A lot of citizens out there probably don't understand who does what. All they're concerned about is enough firefighters get there to put the fire out. But there is a relationship. You have the state with the Division of Forestry, you have Volusia County Fire Services, and then of course you have city fire departments. Who does what in these fires?
We all work together for the common good, basically, to sum it up. But the Florida Forestry Service is charged with any kind of standing timber fire. We follow them in. They'll respond first and try to contain the fire. We are there initially for structural protection.
Right.
So residential areas, we go in, we scout those out, make sure the houses are safe. If we have to do an evacuation, we'll go ahead and execute one. We work closely with law enforcement, the Sheriff's Department on that, but by and large, the fire departments, the structural fire departments, we respond seamlessly.
One of the things that you mentioned earlier that probably we should explain, and that's that this KDBI, which I believe you're referring to the Keach-Byram Drought Index.
Correct.
You said it was over 600.
621.
Let's talk about that drought index. My understanding is 0 would be like total saturation, and 800 would be desert dry. I think you said we're over 600.
Yes, 621. And what that means in layman terms is it would take 6 inches of rain in order to get us back to that green, lush, vegetative state.
I know that Volusia County Council has taken a cue from the Fire Services Director and has imposed a burn ban. Typically 600 on the KDBI is when you typically kick in that burn ban. What does that burn ban mean?
What the burn ban means is that's a means for us to let the public know that we are in dire circumstances right now, and they need to be extremely cautious and careful with the use of anything that can get out of control as far as a fire goes. And that goes to home cooking outside, outdoor cooking, campfires, any of that stuff we try to control completely.
And I think I'm right in saying that if someone out there knowingly violates the burn ban and a wildfire should occur, and it takes all these resources to respond, and if there's any structural loss or that sort of thing, the person that started that fire, could be held responsible, could they not?
They most certainly will be.
Let's talk about what homeowners should be thinking about these days, what they can be doing, particularly if they live near a wooded area. What should you be doing around your home?
They need to make their house as fire-wise safe as they can. That's the term. And what that is create that green buffer around the perimeter of the house, usually 25, 30 feet. No limber or no trees, timber, anything like that hanging on that would be a fuel source to reach the house. So the more they can do as far as trimming back low-hanging limbs, get up on the roof. We just had the leaf drop from the oak trees.
Right.
Now's a good time to rake that up because that's really good vegetative matter for fire behavior or for fuel source. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get it off the roof. Let's just be aware of those ladder fuels that can lead that fire into the house. And then the other thing is, let's get a plan. Emergency management, the state here with the hurricane season, we talk about making a plan. Make a plan.
Right.
If it's time for you to leave based upon what you see, then go ahead and evacuate. Don't wait for somebody to tell you.
For people that are out and about in the wooded areas, maybe out on the roads, that sort of thing, what should they do and what should they not do?
Well, they need to practice safe behavior, and that is no cigarette butts out the windows if you smoke. Try to be cognizant of that. Also, if you're out on a four-wheeler, think about making sure that the vehicle you have has a spark arrestor still in place.
Right.
If you're going to ride something that doesn't have that suppression, then be careful.
Right.
Be very careful. Catalytic converters, those things. Parking in a grassy area that right now is very dry. That
Right.
could be, in a heartbeat, you've got a major problem.
Well, Jeff, for those folks out there that maybe they'd like more information about the wildfire threat level, maybe some help as to what they should be doing, weather information, that sort of thing, how do people get more information?
Well, they can get information on volusia.org. They can go to community information website. They can also go to Fire Services, and they can also go to Emergency Management, and they can reach out to Florida Forestry Service. They are an excellent source for information and things to make your home safe as far as the fire-wise that I was talking about and fire weather.
Thanks for sharing the information with us today.
You're welcome, and thanks for the opportunity to get the message out.
Our guest today has been Jeff Smith. He's the Acting Deputy Chief of Operations for Volusia County Fire Services. Back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. And last, we'd like to invite you to the next Volusia County Council meeting, which is scheduled for Thursday, April 19th at 9 a.m. in the County Council chambers in DeLand. Public participation is welcome. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.